Hey, what's going on, my St. Louis City fam? So this is the In Case You Missed It episode for the week of December 4th, 2020. So I'm just here to give you the rundown of what's been going on this week in the city of St. Louis because, again, what is my job? To attend these meetings so you don't have to. So, first and foremost, the Public Safety Committee meeting. They recommended due pass. They provided, their due pass recommendation for three board bills, working collaboratively to basically make the usage of electric vehicles easier for St. Louis residents. So something else that happened, the TIF Commission, they provided their recommendation for approval for the Kingsway Development Plan. And so specifically, this plan would, if it were implemented, it would redevelop north of Del Mar, specifically the 18th Ward. And if you want to get even more specific, we're talking about Fountain Park and Lewis Place neighborhoods. And so this redevelopment plan would consist of 5 sub-projects that will cost upwards of 80 million, 80 million bucks. And also they were again requesting over $6 million in TIF funding to support the completion of this project. So what are these projects? So I know there's one that would produce a performance center. Another one would provide co-working space for the community. Also, multi-units, a building for a bunch of apartment units. I'm blanking on the exact number right now. And, a lot of improvements with regards to the infrastructure as well throughout the area. So there was public forum at this meeting, and there were some great questions that were asked from residents. Unfortunately, the commissioner informed meeting attendees that the public forum was not the place for questions. However, people could reach out, or they were, I guess, taking notes of the questions, and they will provide those answers publicly, I guess, on their website. And again, they were questions around basically like getting at how would the community benefit from this development. So I know one of the things that the development plan was mentioning was the creation of over 400, jobs, full-time equivalent jobs. People were asking about what those jobs consisted of. People were asking, to me, there was kind of like just general questions to gain an understanding of, again, how is this going to benefit the community. And then the developer, he was present, and he promised to create another community engagement event with residents, to answer questions. So that was the TIF Commission meeting. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we have our weekly Board of Aldermen meetings. So there were a few bills that were introduced that I just kind of wanted to put it out there for folks to kind of be on the lookout for. There are a lot of plans for redevelopment in the area. So I think there were 3 or maybe 2. Sorry, there are 2 plans that I'm going to kind of highlight here. One is for 5025 Del Mar area, which I think that's the Burger King, but I could be wrong. The second one is an ordinance. So this is Board Bill 194, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan for 4100 to 4122 West Florissant Avenue and 4569 Alice Avenue area. So there are other board bills introduced that I just kind of wanted to mention. Board Bill number 198, which would authorize and direct the acting director of the health department to accept a $200,000 grant from the CDC with a project name of COVID-19 care kits for the faith-based communities. The next one, Board Bill number 201, an ordinance authorizing and directing the chief of police to enter into and execute a grant with the Missouri Department of Public Safety, Office of Homeland Security to fund the 2020 Operation Legend Grant Program. And then lastly, Board Bill 202, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Chief of Police to enter into and execute a grant agreement with the Missouri Department of Public Safety to fund the 2019 Project Safe Neighborhoods program. And then there was a resolution that was passed actually during the meeting and enacted that opposed the proposed school closings in the St. Louis Public School District. So that produced quite a bit of lively debate. And so I think that's really all that I really have for you as far as like what's going on in the city. But I did want to leave you one thing. I don't have a quote for the week, but I do have a word from the week. Again, this is just a recurring theme from all of these meetings that I have sat through this week. The word reminiscent of Mr. John Witherspoon, RIP. His name was coordinate, right? So the word for this week is communicate. Because there seems to be a lot of issues just around making sure that people are informed and made aware of a variety of things. Folks have expressed their concerns about these school closings and just really the tight time frame, I guess, where a lot of these decisions are having to be made, but they weren't communicated with other folks effectively. In addition to we were talking about the redevelopment plan, the Kingsway Redevelopment plan, where folks weren't communicated with in an effective way. So yes, communicate well. So that's all that I have for you for this week. In case you missed it, stay well, take care, and I'll see you next week. Peace.